It's him again. Motherfucking odd voice.
I don't come for you. Show me.
Like, oh, I like your TikTok videos. They're pretty cool. He's like, yeah, I just fucking upload them and then I fucking delete the app. I was like,
That's so smart.
oh, that's how you beat the algorithm.
My name is Art, so I don't say I have a problem. I say Art has a problem, and then I can look at Art as a fucking character in GTA 6. And now I'm thinking from the outside, like, what can this fucker do to deal with this shit? You know, I was just explaining about how the starving artist is kind of for the people who are already kind of making money from doing what they like, or they have just said fuck you to all the money because they just enjoy doing the process so much more, and they kind of don't want to sell themselves because that's kind of like the first creative block, right? You try to make something for yourself, but then like you also want to make money from it. So then you think like, oh, but what do people want? And it's like, and you start making shit for other people, and you end up hating yourself because now you're not doing what you wanted. You're doing shit what other people, and it's very similar in comedy. So maybe we can talk about that. Where do you think you land on that spectrum?
Yeah, well, I love money. I love money. Me and money, we have a relationship and we love each other. But yeah, art is art. So sometimes I lose money or I pay money to do what I love too. Like I love acting. I love
Yeah.
making movies, and I'm gonna have to pay my own money to make a movie and maybe not make any money. Like I pay money to make my YouTube videos. I haven't made any money, but I love doing it. So fuck it. I want to pay. I'll
Bro,
invest.
I feel you so much because I am broke as fuck right now because I just spent like money on lights, money on fucking on this Riverside app that we're using just to record these things, money on everything, bro. It's just like, but people are like, "What do you even spend money on?" I'm like, "The shit I like," but it does. I don't drink. Fuck all. I don't do drugs. I'm sober as fuck, and I'm broke. Like, what movie are you making?
I act in movies. So I was in let's see, 14 movies last year acting.
Holy shit,
Yeah, yeah, that's what I said when I counted them up. I was like, holy
that's more movies
shit.
than Tyson had fights in his first year.
Right. I wish I was up there with Tyson on the heavyweight champ of movies,
You wish you
but
could wear your own T-shirt, you know? That's
right.
kind of where he's at.
I do have my own T-shirt. Actually, I'm printing them up. And let's say one,
Oh,
two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8 movies this year so far.
holy shit! And what exactly are you making?
So this is acting gigs. So I do a lot of these vertical dramas that are like popular. It's an app on your phone. You pay to watch it. It's like a feature length movie, but it's just separated into little 1 minute episodes. And you watch 10 episodes, and you hit a paywall, and they're like, okay, you got to pay $4 to watch the rest of the movie. So I was in and it's like drama. It's like it's the new soap opera. So one of the names was Flash Marriage: A Wife for a Stranger. Another one was The Billionaire's Mask. Another one was Super Daddy. And the most recent one was The Billionaire's Secret Son.
You like money for sure.
I do. I do. And
You
then
keep
I
on
was
bouncing
in,
around where the money is.
yeah, I mean, they pay me for
What is
this.
the budget for these movies? Are these all your own production or like somebody else
No,
coming up with this shit?
no, these are apps. So it's like a Chinese movie company that has an app. So it's only for your phone. It's vertical drama. So it goes vertically on your phone, not like this. You can't watch, you got to watch it vertically. And they're making millions, but I mean, they pay us to act in the movies. And I someone told me it's like actors boot camp because they film them in like 2 weeks, and like you got 3 takes maximum to get your like scene in there. So there's not a lot of like, oh, let me do it differently. No, you gotta know your lines, do it, because they move on quick. They make it. They're shooting 2 movies in a month. They're flying in, shooting a bunch of movies, and then taking off. So it's like actors boot camp.
That's still not as fast as like Robert Rodriguez. Have you been watching this guy on podcast recently?
No, what does he
Bro,
do?
you should check. You should really check him out. He's the guy that made Sin City, Spy Kids, and all these other. He has like this. He has the Rick Rubin type of a creative process when it comes to like explaining creativity. You love him, bro. And he makes movies like he has actors come in for 4 days, and he sets it up. Like Bruce Willis loves him, loves to act with him because he gets him in and out. Like sometimes he's on a shoot for like 9 months with some other people, and with fucking Robert Rodriguez, you just come in for like 4 days, and he puts you in a hotel. So like you sleep in this room here on one side of the hallway, and you just walk across the hallway, and the whole set is there. Like all the rooms are just like different sets, and then so you just walk into this fucking room, shoot your shit, next one, next one, next one, and he has it like all laid out so he can just like roll you out really quick.
That's
Incredible shit, like
perfect.
and he just rolls them out so quickly, and he also makes these like really low budget movies, you know.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Because right now I'm acting, but I started as like I took film school for like production and directing. So that was my first passion. But then I kind of like I don't know what happened, and then I just started acting. But I write movies and everything, so I want to write the movie, direct it, and even acting if I have to. But I like telling the story. So yeah, I'm working my way up into being able to direct my own movies. I can't. I mean, I can now, but it's just that's hard, bro, to get everybody. What he does, he has good people working for him because it's super hard to get all the actors on a timetable. Super hard
Yeah,
to like, whatever, get the permits. You got your lighting guy. You got it
make them
that.
all care about your idea, you know,
Yeah,
in the first
yeah.
place. Yeah.
That's that's the hard
So
part.
sounds like you've always been creative. Then would you say you always been making shit?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I've
what was like the
always
first thing that you started making? Would you say?
when I was a little kid, I used to make little videos of like my Star Wars characters and stuff. I would like make little do stop motion, or I'd make little movies with my Star Wars toys. Yeah, and then I was working for my friend's production company. We were making music videos and like documentaries and stuff.
What year is this?
Yeah. That was back in 2000 something,
Jesus,
2010s. Yeah. Yeah. I've lived in
that's like the
Vietnam.
origin story.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
My buddy
And how did that
Dream
evolve
Brand
into?
Studios.
How did that? What was the name of the studio?
Dream Brand Studios, Renee, my buddy Renee. Yeah.
Fucking and when did you like even start? When did the comedy bit come into this? Like the stand up? Did you just start writing shit and like decided that it would be cool to learn to articulate it in front of an audience, or did you try to learn to be funny? Because it actually applies to a lot of the comedy and building that surprise element applies to like both horror movies and comedy, right? So script writing in general like kind of applies to storytelling also. So it's all like interconnected. This art stuff, you know.
It is. It is. I've always been funny. I've always had like good comedic timing and stuff, but I think, well, I started doing stand up comedy right after COVID. After COVID, I was locked down for however, who knows, bro? Who knows how long we were locked down for?
And Vietnam
But
was bad also, right?
after we were open for the longest, like you guys were like, oh my God. And I'm on Instagram at the bar, like, hey, what the fuck you guys are like, where's your mask? I'm like, we don't need masks. But after that, we got locked down and you guys were open. And then I was like, you know
Surprise,
what?
surprise.
Yeah, it was a twist. But after that, I was like, I'm gonna do everything I've ever been scared to do. So right after we got released from lockdown, I started doing MMA. I went to the nearest MMA place, just showed up, like, hey guys, I want to do it. I started doing comedy. I just showed up to an open mic. I had a friend that kind of like prepped me a little bit, but I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do everything. Yeah,
It was like
and
COVID was like your catalyst in a way, huh?
I had a good COVID, man. I had a nice COVID. I
A
was
really good COVID too.
productive,
Some people were fucked up by COVID, but I used it as such a catalyst to like grow into all this other shit, you know.
bro. I was waking up. I was doing podcasts. I was waking up at 5 a.m. I had an hourly chart, and I was just like, okay, 5 a.m. Right, 6 a.m. Workout for 1 hour. I was watching people doing like live workouts, and I would do the same shit. I was writing. I wrote my first script that I sold during COVID. So I had a good COVID, and
Okay,
every
let's bring COVID back. It was a good time.
oh,
Everybody's like, we're never gonna get fooled again. I'm like, bring that shit back. That shit was awesome, bro.
I was
Finally had some time
productive.
for myself.
All right, there was no distractions. I didn't have to go to
Nothing.
work. I was like, oh, I like this. Yeah,
And getting paid for nothing. It was beautiful. Yeah.
right,
So
right. Just the
so
swimming pool was closed. That's what.
you started early, right? You told me you started making like movies and or you tried to make movies with your mates early and music videos. Like, but what was the initial pull? Would you say was there like an initial pull you can like earliest memory of like this pull to create?
Yeah, when I was a young kid, I think just watching movies like I loved like scary movies, like I loved Terminator. I loved all these like action films, and I would write little movies, right, or write little scripts, and then I would film. My dad had a video camera. I would film little movies by myself. I gotta find those, man. Those are probably golden right now. And I would put little soundtracks with a little tape recorder, like put like Madonna or whatever was cool in the 80s, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know how old I was, maybe I was like 8, 9, 10 years old. I was making little movies and stuff. And I would record myself. I did little stand-ups too. So it's always been something I want to do. And in college I made a few
Always a performance, huh?
yeah, yeah. I made student films in college. I gotta find those too on real film. Those things are on real film.
Like the proper rolling film, the old
Yeah,
school shit.
like
Jesus,
we
before
filmed it
digital,
with a camera.
you could hear the.
Yeah, and then we had to like put it in a canister and send it to LA and
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
wait 2 weeks and get it back and put it on a projector.
That would make you appreciate it so much more. The fact that you had to wait 2 weeks would just make it so much more fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, bro.
Because nowadays everything is so instantaneous that you don't even give a fuck. It's like, oh, cool video. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was
Yeah,
on
but I remember the first time I was making movies myself was I got a camera for like my Holy Communion at 8, and we already had like an MP4 player, so I didn't know how to fucking there was something like editing software, so I would just put the MP4 player beside the camera as I was recording, and you would just run around and try to like record these free running movies because we did like free running when I was younger with my brother, so just like run through the estate and try to like get some tricks on certain spots, with the music playing in the back. That's kind of how it
yeah.
started for me also.
Bro, now you could just make a movie on your iPhone. You just got to do it, bro. I'm gonna just bring my iPhone and I just got to do it. You know, sometimes you just like what's it called? Over analyze, or you just
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna.
You
You
think
just
you have to know everything before you start.
right. You don't. You have to just do it. That
You
is
only
it.
figure it out like 2 days before you finish it.
Right, right. Or
Yeah.
you figure it out on your 10th time doing it, and that's how
Also,
you
yeah, that's
figure it
that's
out.
that's that's a beautiful analogy. There was sometimes when you're crossing the river, the only way to go across it is to flip or slip on the first two stones, you know? Like you have to
Yeah,
fuck up so to be like, okay, now I know.
that's mighty Irish of you. I, I love
No, I
Irish.
actually stole that from Robert.
You did? Okay.
Mighty Irish. I'm losing my Irish accent as we speak. I can't relate.
No, keep it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to drive taxi, and a lot of my clients after the bar closed were Irish guys, and they would
Alright.
they were the funnest to drive, bro. So I'm
Where did you
driving
do that?
in San Francisco.
Are you from San Francisco?
Yeah, born and raised. Yep.
Born and raised. Okay. And when
Yeah.
when did you move to Vietnam?
Uh, 2016.
You've been there a while then. I've only been there a year and a half and they deported my ass.
What?
That's bollocks.
What? What happened? They reported you.
Well, the story I tell, that's my Vietnamese story. But I'll be back. And I was loving Saigon so much because I was in the stand-up scene, everything. I was like meeting all these new people, like having some normal shit to do on the side, being creative and like doing these podcasts. I started the first podcast before I started this one. Would you say
Mm.
you ever had the time, going back to the your creative story, kind of? Would you ever say there was a time where you nearly like backed off, where you like just went into some career maybe and were like pulled away from the creative life?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why I actually moved to Vietnam because San Francisco is so damn expensive. I was working so much and then hanging out with my friends so much that I couldn't like I just stopped doing my goal. So I came here to write and work less hours, bro. Because if anybody has been here, you know you could work 20 hours a week here, or the rent is
At the
you could
peak,
get an
yeah.
apartment for $200 a month if you wanted to. You know, you know, so that's like 10 times cheaper than San Francisco. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna come here to write. I seen the coffee shops. Coffee shops were epic and so like inspirational. You could go up in the coffee shop and just type. So I came here to get more free time to write, man. So that was, and to get away from, you know, like just hanging out and partying all the time, which I ended up doing here anyway. But
Yeah, but
you know,
at least you had the intention when you were coming in to do something creative, because that's the best way to like actually change your habits, is to change the environment. Because you're coming in and there's just, it's all a fresh slate, and you decide on the new habits now. You're like, okay, this is the coffee place, this is where I bring the laptop, this way I write, and you set up a new habit there, and you do it again. You do that for 3 weeks as a new habit for a really long time, and then you just set up all these other ones. After a while, you go to a comedy show, whatever, people bring you out. All of a sudden, every time you go to a comedy show, you're drinking. You go there for the free drink sometimes, you know, and then all of a sudden you're drinking with your mates and then doing God knows what. So that's it's easy to get pulled into that nightlife also with the comics. I feel like a lot of them
it
just
is.
drink.
It is, yeah, and that's
Yeah.
why I'm kind of taking a break from comedy right now, because yeah, you get that stage high and you're like, oh, let me hang out with my boys and just talk for like an hour, and then it's 2 hours, and then oh, let's go to fucking Boy VN, let's go to Fan Chan, let's go to, and then it's like 4 a.m. You're like, oh shit, I got work tomorrow. Yeah, yep. So that's a little bit, yeah, that's a tough part of doing comedy,
Yeah,
trying to
it's weird how it affects you, because I be on Boy Vien, literally right next to, like, working in the bar, right next to the fridge with free beer for me, and like I wouldn't drink at all, but then I would go and get a free drink, and all of a sudden I'm drinking, even though like I could have been drinking every day, all day if I wanted to. I wasn't, and then I go to a comedy store, and you just feel like you have to almost. Like there is no peer pressure, nobody's asking you to drink necessarily, you know, but it's just like perhaps the stress before you go on the set, you kind of want to like down the drink, you know, when you know
yes,
you suck.
yes.
It's like
Yeah,
maybe if I have a beer in me, it's gonna be a little bit, at least perceive it a little bit less than it is. Yeah.
it is. It is because before, yeah, before you
It's
get
just
up there,
stressful the
you,
first few times you go,
ooh,
you know. It's always
ooh,
stressful actually, but
always, still for me, my stomach gets a little in knots, in the alcohol kind of takes the edge off. So you have one, you go up, and then if you bomb, you're like, let me get another 5 beers, and
now
if
you
you,
need more drink, yeah. It's a
right,
vicious cycle. Fuck.
right, then, and if you do
So would you
good, you
say
like
would you
want to
say
celebrate, yeah.
Yeah, would you say after you said you started partying again and shit, and then you had to pull off? So did somebody show up? Somebody show up that kind of got you back on tracks, or was it just all yourself?
Bro, the fuck. Hangovers is the main thing, bro. I was just like, an hour of drinking is like a day of hangover. I don't know. I turned into a real lightweight. I can't even drink 2 beers without like having a hangover anymore. Yeah. Plus, I got responsibility. I got a kid now, so I can't really be out of it. I can't go drinking Saturday night because then I can't have a good
It's such a waste of a
Sunday.
day, right? The next day is all ruined.
Yes,
Yeah, you
yes.
can't think straight. And
Nope.
I like the ability. I like reality, just raw dog in reality, like Zuckerberg says.
Right.
It makes me, I don't know, like coffee's cool. You know, coffee. I drink mate also.
Right. Yeah, yeah. I've been
Anything
drinking
that's
that.
good for the brain, I feel like you just feel so, like you feel good. Honestly, I feel good when I create some shit, even if it's like the most useless, not valuable to anybody else piece of content. If I made it and put it out there and I spent some time on it and I feel like I learned something when I was doing it, I get goosebumps just doing that. That's I follow the goosebumps, you know. It's like I feel like I'm on the right path when I do that. So I never regret creating shit
Yeah, yeah. It's
until I wake up
uh
the next morning. I'm like, what did I post?
right, right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
it's
artistic
like
life.
pushing the dopamine release back. And you know, you're not doing those little hits. You're waiting until you get a big hit. Yeah. Yeah, that's that's what I learned, man. It's like, okay, if you're gonna live that life is pretty rough. Like single people could do it, like people that are young with no like ambition could do it, but I kind of figured out like, okay, If I do that, then I can't do this. If I'm getting fucked up 3 nights a week, then I'll be too fucked up to wake up early and go take pictures or go do, I don't want to show up hungover to a movie set. Like I did that earlier in my career back in San Francisco, and I was like, bro, I'm not gonna do that anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not professional, right? It's kind of what it's what's his name? Steven what's his name? The guy that wrote War of Art? Pressfield. Stephen Pressfield, right? He says like you have to turn pro. You have to like think about what the pros do. Like if this was my career and this was like what I did, like how would I approach it, you know? Like would I always make sure to be in the best state possible to deliver the best possible result? That's kind of like what you have to think about, you know? It's like you're doing a podcast, okay, so you have to think, how do you ask good questions? You have to think about like how do you present yourself on camera? You have to think about the way you articulate things. You have to fucking think about the camera's equipment, all this other shit. There's like all these things you have to figure out before you can make like a pretty good quality production, and the quality keeps going higher. So the entry bar to entry is like getting higher and higher in a way, you know? So there's like a lot of shit you want to figure out if you want to be like really great. But like if you just focus on that and the process of it, then it's awesome, you know? Like you
Yeah.
can see every
Yeah.
podcast is better, and you watch your podcast back. You're like, oh, I could have said this instead of that. I could have said it this way, and then you do get better at it. It's and doesn't even take that many podcasts to get better at it. I feel like.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. When I was doing my podcast more, I would definitely learn from it. I'd be like, damn, I should have kept going down this road. I should have asked him one more question. And yeah, yeah. Like it's like anything, bro. You will get better at it. Like if the more you do it, if you're into it, you will get better at it. Yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
found any tricks? Because people are always looking for tricks. Have you found any tricks on your journey? It's like how to be more creative, how to come up with better shit, how to whatever, bro.
For podcasting,
We can do for podcasting specifically, yeah.
I'll give you a tip. Okay, so I studied different kind of interviewers, right? So there's Larry King, there's
Yeah.
there's the Joe Rogan. Like, so I adopted Larry King style where each question is like 2 sentences and then you let the person talk. So of course I didn't do that every time. Joe Rogan style is more like he'll fucking go on a rant for 2 minutes or whatever he does, right? But I like Larry King style. So I studied because I got asked to do a podcast. I got asked to do 10 episodes for this real estate SEO company. I was like, oh shit, this is serious. I bought like
Sounds
this
serious.
microphone. I bought this Rode like $300 microphone, and I bought like a HD camera. And I was like, oh my god, this is serious. And I wrote all my questions and because I was interviewing business people. So it was supposed to be a podcast for real estate. So I was like, okay, let me really study how this works. Like, and I was like, okay, I like Larry King style.
Yeah.
Ask two questions, or ask a question that's no longer than 2 sentences. Let them talk. Let them be the star of the show. And I get that's what Larry King had so much longevity, and he didn't ask like tough questions that made the person not want to come back on the show too. So people always like, why are you softballing him, Larry King? He's like, well, cause I want him
Want
to
him back?
come back. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, I'm interviewing Frank Sinatra. You think I want to piss him off? No, I want to interview him every year 2 times. So I'm not gonna fucking ask about his illegitimate kids. Like I'm gonna be fucking cool with
Yeah, like
him.
he's not gonna like me more if I ask him that. But
Right,
then
right.
some people just think of the views and the controversy, you know, that's why they do these things. You know.
Yep.
I like you do it out of curiosity. I feel like that's the best way to do it because you can't keep it any more authentic than being genuinely interested in like maybe somebody having some answers that you're looking for.
Yeah, yeah,
Depends on the
and
podcast because a podcast is not always an interview either. You know, it's not exactly an interview. You know?
right, right, right. Yeah.
It's very broad.
So so when I did my professional one, I was more like Larry King. But when I was doing my own, I was more like the Joe Rogan style. Like let's just fucking bullshit and talk about whatever comes up. Cause either way is good, man. Either way, whatever you like. Yeah, it's your show. That's what I liked about it. It was my show. Mine was what was mine called? It's still up on YouTube. Expats, Locals, and Travelers. XLT
I thought it
podcast.
was something abroad, no? Because you had
I
Jesse on your pod,
changed it. I
and Jesse
changed
just
it.
talked for the whole podcast.
I
You didn't
know.
have to ask shit.
I know that fucker. What did I change it to? Jesus Christ. Living Overseas. The Living Overseas show. Yeah, I changed it. I don't know why I changed it. I don't know. See, that that's the thing about um, the, like I didn't stick with my plan of having that because I wanted to change it, and it's
Yeah,
my show, so
I
I
want to change
can
it every
I could.
hour of the day,
Yeah, right.
and sometimes I do, and I change it back just to so people don't
Yeah,
notice.
yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Yep,
It's
yep,
a struggle because it's like you have a better idea every fucking day, bro. Like I think you should be iterating, but I don't think you should be doing it so fast that you never get good in the first thing in the first place. You're always like starting from zero.
yep. That's I learned that too. Like you're like, oh my god, let me. I think it's better this way, and then like sit on it for a little while before you change it, right? Yeah,
Yeah. That's
yeah.
kind I
But
wanted
now,
to keep like 80, you can keep 80% of it around the topic that you want to be curious about, and the 20% you can kind of let your individuality and authenticity fly into whatever fucking philosophy or any direction that you are doing, you know? So it's like, because that conversation naturally flows to whatever you want to speak about anyway at some point, unless you're just asking questions. But yeah, and we were talking about tricks before this, but you never mentioned any tricks actually for getting some shit, I think.
okay. So
No, you did. You'd mentioned it for a podcast. I wanted more for maybe stand-up and movie writing. Sorry.
okay. Yeah. Study your. You don't need to go to school. Fuck school.
Fuck school.
Study all day of what you want. Any free time you have, just watch podcasts, watch YouTube videos on it. You can learn that way. And then you got to just do it, man. I tell my students, they're like, oh, I want to do that. I was like, you got a phone? Go do it. Oh, my phone sucks. Good. It's better if it sucks because then you got nothing to lose. You just go do what you want to do. Do not, I tell my students this all the time. Don't just get a job for the money. Do something that you like to do. 20 years later, you're going to be doing something you don't like, and you're going to spend all your money anyway. Might as well do what you want to do for 20 years, and then you'll be the best at it. After
Yeah.
5 years,
After
you
five
start
years, you're gonna
now.
be better than 95% of people probably.
Right, right.
People can't
Even if
stick
you
to shit.
right,
We can't
even if
stick
you
to shit, and we know this. You know, people consciously not aware of that can't even like. There's no chance in hell. Like, even when you're consciously aware of your own faults and the fact that you restart shit, you tend to restart it. It's like you've no control over it sometimes, and you realize it. At the, like, I know this about myself, which is like I try to keep myself accountable sometimes to counter that. You know, but like, how did you find? Did you find a trick to do that for yourself also?
just keep doing what you like. If you don't like it anymore, stop it. Fuck it. Yeah, like the
So you
podcast.
like your muse to kind of steer you in the direction where you should go.
Yeah,
You trust your like your senses to go wwherever your attention kind of grabs you.
I did. I was doing the podcast during lockdown, and I was interviewing a ton of people. And I was like, you know what? I want to make YouTube videos now. So I went out into Saigon. I started making YouTube videos. I was like, oh, this is a little bit funner, you know. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I could combine them. I could, and just
You
be
can.
creative. Do what you want. Who's that guy? Rick Rubin?
Rick Rubin, bro. This guy
Yeah.
from this book, right?
Bro, he's like, don't do it for the audience, do it for yourself. Like,
Yeah,
don't
that was one
don't.
of my videos on my Instagram actually. It was like the
Oh,
audience comes
nice,
last.
nice, yeah,
The
bro.
audience comes last, bro.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm doing it for myself, bro. Like,
Ah, I'm looking for I have it here because I listen to the audio version. I have the audio version in English, but I this is the kind of book that you need to have like that you can just open on a random page and just read something, and it's exactly what you're looking for. It's one of these like Bible-like books because it's so universal. The advice in it is so paradoxical, and it shows you both sides of the coin and the one that it spins on, you know, the third side. So it's like
nice,
there is no clear answer, and that's kind of what he's trying to get to, you know. And he found a way to phrase it because he's like the creative advisor kind of for these artists, right? Like he's the guy that doesn't have any like technical skills. He's the real audience. He comes in and he's like, and he just trusts his taste. He's like, it's a little bit whatever here, you know. And he really tries to get you into that state that he's not trying to make you create something. He's trying to put you in a state where creating something becomes inevitable in a way, you know?
Yeah,
And then you're
yeah.
just iterating on that. And like sometimes people try to iterate on shit too much. And if he talks about the fact that like a lot of people that get success in art, a lot of artists that are coming up, they try to copy what they're doing because they're like, oh, that's the road to success. You have to do what these guys are doing. But they fail to notice the fact that these guys did something that people didn't do. That's why they got successful. But then you respect their individuality and you praise them for being individuals, and then you try to copy them instead of being yourself. Which is so retarded, but that's what we do, you know?
It's a trap, bro. You say, "Oh, that's
Such a
successful.
trap.
I'm gonna do that," but you're right. You're right. No, don't do it. Do something new. Do something yourself. And another thing I like what Rick Rubin said. He said, uh finish it. Just fucking
Finish.
finish it so you could do the next one. Like fuck it. Stop fucking editing that shit. Put it out. Like, yeah, my first podcast, I didn't even fucking edit it. I just put the whole thing, fucking burps, farts, all that shit. People walking in the background, bro. We were doing it in like in coffee shops and shit. There's fucking coffee grinders going. I'm like, well, you know what? Fuck it. We're gonna put that in. That's real. Yeah. So my first, like, I didn't edit it, and then I started editing it a little. I don't want to like cut, cause my buddy was like, you gotta cut out that dead space and put it together. I know that's what people do. Like, fuck, but I didn't. I didn't.
Nowadays, it's so much easier. Like this software, I can just
Yeah.
click a button that says remove all pauses and it just removes them all.
Right.
You don't have to do anything.
Oh,
But
that's so
the
good.
conversation doesn't sound that natural. Like the only time I did that was with Tyler because the conversation was like 3.5 hours long.
Right. Right.
And then there was also I was eating nuts in the middle, so it also gives you like the ability to mute anybody that's not speaking. Because when he
Right.
was talking, I was like munching fucking nuts. So
Right.
there's a very quick option that you can just press and it mutes everybody that's not talking. So that kind of saved the whole podcast because otherwise it would have been just me eating for 3 hours. Yeah, but nowadays it's so much easier, and you can like edit in text. If you like skipped a word or use the wrong word, you can like change it on this app that I'm using now, and you can just like put in AI version of it, and it generates
Yeah.
your voice. Bro, shit
So
got easier.
I know. I know. I'm thinking now. Now you got me. I brought out my microphone. It's all dusty.
Yeah, you're the best kitted out guy I fucking had on the podcast so far. Good headphones, good
Right.
fucking camera, beautiful. Better than mine almost. My setup is this is the first time I didn't bring any lights on. I usually have like these colorful lights in the background, all the fucking back shots, but my neighbor was doing some shit on the fucking in the kitchen and she poured water inside the wall and it was coming out of the socket there. So now I can't plug a light in. Bitch fucking destroyed my backlight basically. So yeah, back to
Yeah.
the creative struggle. See, this is the thing. Like people don't know what to kind of create themselves because they're like, I'm not an expert at anything. But they don't realize you don't have to be an expert. You have to be a guy on a journey to become an expert and share your struggles and what you found out on the way, the conclusions you came to and how you came to them. And because you don't realize there's a guy behind you, like 10% on the fucking loading bar to 100 behind you that wants to know exactly what you did. So how did you just figure that shit out? Because he's struggling with that right now, you know? And it's going to take you a little bit of time before you even come across this person with your fucking Spotify only, audio only podcast, you know? But the best things you can do is just randomly throw it out there into the ether and hope somebody catches it, you know? And maybe they only find you, like, you only find most good podcasts when they're like 500 episodes in. So don't expect shit very early. That's why consistency is the key. If you just throw that, because most people quit after podcast number 7, you know, that's like the scary number that people always
Yeah.
quit on. Yeah,
Yep.
which
Yep.
how many podcasts did you do before you quit it?
Let's see, 40, maybe 40. I think.
Oh, so you
I
had a
think
good
it's
few
about
then.
40. Yeah.
And
Yeah. And then
what would you say was the mistake that made you stop liking it?
um, um, I started liking other stuff more. I didn't really stop liking I was busy, bro. I was busy because it takes an hour, 2 hours to do the podcast, and then I was editing it myself and uploading it. If I had this equipment, maybe I'm thinking of doing it again. People liked it. People liked it, man. I mean, because I I would ask people about living overseas, right? So it was like it's informative. I wanted to bring value to people, you know.
Yeah, a lot of
and
people want to move across and they want to hear that kind of shit, you know?
yeah, it's good to know. It's good to get other people's stories because if you're gonna move to another country, you don't even know how to freaking pay your light bill. Like all
Yeah,
those stories help. Like if
everything.
you
Yeah,
don't know
movement is
anybody,
such a
that
scary thing. Like most people never go anywhere. They're paralyzed by
yeah,
the idea of changing locations within the same country. Don't mind like fucking going abroad to Asia, you know?
yeah,
It's scary
yeah.
shit. Not everybody can do it. Most
Right.
people don't.
I had a lot of friends like, oh, I'm gonna come visit you. Some have, but yeah, it's because it's the unknown. The unknown is like the scary shit, right? You're like, oh, I don't know what that is. I'm not gonna do it. Well, that's
The
you
fear of
gotta
death.
do it,
The fear of death is the ultimate fear of the unknown, right?
right? Like, I could die, but actually, no. There's a little thing I say, like if you're going into the cave because you the riches are in there, but you hear a dragon. Like you're not gonna go in the cave because there's a dragon guarding that cave. But when you go into the cave, it's not really a fucking dragon. It's just a little bunny, and you just gotta go into the cave, man. The dragon is not real. The everything I've done where I thought it was like scary as hell. Like after COVID, I was like, oh, I'm gonna do MMA. I've always been scared to do it, but when I walked into this random MMA place. No one spoke English or nothing. Well, yeah, some of them spoke English, but I was just like, "Hi, I want to do MMA." They're like, "Oh
Did
shit,
you
come
have
on
any
in."
did you have any experience in fighting before you joined the MMA gym at all? Any like
Little
training
bit,
before that?
little yeah, karate, taekwondo, a little karate and stuff, a little boxing, but not MMA. I was like, fuck it, dude. I want to do it. I want to get trained. No, I just walked in there and they're super cool. They're like having a party. They're like, come on in, we're
They are very nice
barbecuing.
people in there
I was
usually
like,
too.
oh shit. I was like, hell yeah. And we fucking drank together till like midnight, and they're like, "All right, we'll see you Monday." I was like, "All right, I'm coming back," and they're super cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
most
so
people never go into the first day. That's the thing. It's like the
right,
white belt is the hardest belt to get in jiu-jitsu, you know, because most people never go to join it. Like you can listen to Rogan for 10 years talking about how amazing jiu-jitsu is and still not go to class, you
right,
know?
right. That's what
Yeah,
I say.
it's
You got to
incredible.
do it.
You mentioned the cave, right? The cave is the step number 7 of the hero's journey. And it's usually like there's something that you're trying to face, and on the other side of that, there's riches that come out of it. You know, there's like the scary thing that you're avoiding in that cave, and you have to go and face it. What would you say was like the scariest thing you had to face on your journey?
Mm,
But you're still going, right?
maybe self doubt. I think
Ooh.
there's because once you beat the self doubt, you're pretty much good, bro. Like that's the main thing. Like, oh, I can't do this. I can't. Why would a 42-year-old guy start MMA because I'm old? No. You just go, bro. People are 60 starting MMA. The self doubt is the number one like killer, bro. That's or like you know
We put these
the,
limits on ourselves to
right.
protect ourselves.
There's no fucking limit. That's all in your head. That's
It
all
is.
in your head. You made your own fucking ceiling, bro. No one else is like, oh, you can't do that. Some people, if someone says you can't do that, fucking never talk to that person again. Punch them in the face and say bye because that's not a good friend, right? If you want to do something, say you want to fucking skydive and someone's like, "Oh man, you know, parachutes don't open 4% of the time." Like, fuck that guy. Go do it. The only fear is fear itself, or something. You know the quote. The only thing to fear is fear itself. The and the self doubt and the imposter syndrome. Like, fuck all that shit. Everybody's a fucking imposter, bro.
Until
Nobody.
they do something.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody is something, bro. No one's a fucking basketball player
Nobody is the
until
thing or they do the thing. Yeah.
right. Right. No
Yeah.
one's
But like
born.
in order to start the thing, sometimes you have to identify. It's like at least say like you don't have to say today I am an artist, I am a musician, I am a athlete to go to the gym or and start other playing music and shit. But you can't say I am the guy that does the shit he says he's gonna do, you know? And all of a sudden you become that person. You start identifying, and a lot of people have this problem where they identify with their problems. They're like, "Oh, I have this problem," instead of saying like, "You can actually do this." The Indians do this shit in fucking in Hinduism, where they step out of their body. So they say like, "My name is Art." So I don't say I have a problem. I say Art has a problem, and then I
Mm.
can look at Art as a fucking character in GTA 6. And now I'm thinking from the outside, like, what can this fucker do to deal with this shit, you know? And all of a sudden you get, because you're so good at giving other people advice, and you're so shit at giving yourself advice. They say wisdom is taking your own advice. So it's like if you can separate yourself, from distance yourself from your own problems, you can solve a lot of cool shit. That's kind of the one trick that I can give people to step out and be like, you don't have a problem. The guy with your name has a problem. You can help him solve it.
I like that. I like the GTA 6 reference because you are like controlling. Like I used to play a little fucking Legend of Zelda and all these games when I was a kid where yeah, you're controlling like, which way you're gonna go. Like are you gonna go to the tavern? No, because then all your fucking hearts will be gone. Your life force is gone, right? Or are you gonna go try to fucking buy a bow and arrow and go fight? Like what
Gotta go on a
like
side quest sometimes to be able to face the big boss later, you know?
yeah, yeah.
That's the
So
game theory.
I like the game theory. I like it a lot, man, because I'm a fucking video game head from a
And the best thing
long
you can
time
do is you can
ago.
find people to help you fucking go get some experience. You know, you go get some X in the game. That's what it is. It's like if somebody just want to sit around and fucking trade items, cool. You know, talk shit,
Yep,
cool.
yep,
Sometimes
yep.
that's the best way to get an idea for your next adventure. If you're gonna do that, cool. But if you're just gonna sit around and talk about other people or waste your time doing nonsense, getting that cheap dopamine, like, and you want to do some shit, like you're gonna lose if you do that, and you know that because even everybody gets sucked into the algorithm. You can't beat the algorithm. It's literally designed by psychologists to fucking hook you in. You scroll for 1 second and then boom, 2 hours goes by and then that's gone. So you have to protect yourself from this shit. You know, you have to consume with the intention to create something at least.
Yeah, yeah. I know that is fucking deadly, bro. The scrolling is. I quit it for a while, but then I just find myself back doing it.
Yeah. The best way
Ah,
I can hear some talking about. Yeah, the best way you can do is you can because you have to become the creator because then you have to know what you want to create in the first place because then everything else that happens in your life, you are looking through the filter of the guy interested in something and you are find things are just coming to you really. The world like becomes your library and you're like, "Oh, I could talk about this. Oh, this relates to that." And it's like you're finding all this shit because you're looking through a frame that you design for yourself. You know, that's why framing is so important. You know, you have to know what you're looking for in a way, like broadly at least, to find some shit and look for these connections. You know.
yeah, and you learn little things from people. Like the other day, I was talking to my buddy Fernando, and he's like, I was like, oh, I like your TikTok videos. They're pretty cool. He's like, yeah, I just fucking upload them and I fucking delete the app. I was like,
That's so smart.
oh, that's how you beat the algorithm. You just download the app, upload your video real quick, and delete it after. I was like, because I'll
You
do
have
that
to
too. I'm
download
like,
that shit every time you want to post something.
right, right,
And it's also a good way to like stay true to yourself because you're not like consuming anybody else's shit. So you're
right,
making your own shit always. And like that's why it stands out because nobody else is making it because you're not copying anybody else. Interesting.
right, right. Because that'll happen in comedy too when you're watching all these. So I stopped watching comedy basically when I started doing comedy. I used to love comedy, bro. I used to watch comedy all the time, go to shows. But then I was like, oh shit, I don't want to be
You sound
uh
like this guy or some shit, you know?
right, right.
It's
So I
like when you
stopped.
watch old Rogan, you can just hear Bill Hicks doing the gorilla and shit, you know? It's like, it's all Bill Hicks. But yeah, it's hard not to, like, if you watch somebody that good, it's almost hard not to imitate them. You want to be that good, you know? And you're like, well, this
Right.
is clearly really, really good. So, like, how do I become that guy? And it's like, the answer is you don't. You come up with more interesting shit around your life, your perspective. Because that was his perspective. That's why you enjoy it so much. And it was real and it was relatable and it was true. And he found the funny in the pain. That's why it was hilarious, you know. And you have to follow the first principle of why it's so good, not the actual content that makes it good, you know. I feel like
Yep. Yep. Yeah. I think I've had a few favorite comedians. It changes up from time to time, but I'm like, I can never do what they do. I love what they do and how they do it, but I'm like, I just can't. That's not gonna be me. I don't want to do it exactly like them, because then I'll be like a tribute band to this comedian.
You're
I
always gonna
gotta
be second, also, you know.
right. Yep.
Yeah. If you try to be like somebody else, you can be better at being somebody else than they are at being themselves, obviously. You know. And the analogy I love to give for this is like for when it comes to in terms of copying somebody else, it's like if you were, let's say you're 6 years old again, you're in school, you know, in an art class drawing some shit, and then you see somebody like teacher gives you an assignment, you have to draw this, and then you draw your picture, but then somebody else draws a better one, and the whole class and the teacher praises him for it, so you fucking steal his picture and bring it home to your mom and get praised for it by your mom. Like, that doesn't feel good. It feels much better when you don't give a fuck about his drawing and you bring your drawing home and your mom gives you a hug and a kiss anyway. And at least you know it was real, you know, it came out from you, like you're not lying to anybody, you know. You came up with that shit. That feels
100%.
much better to me.
100% right. I'd rather have my crappy drawing on my wall. At least I'd made it, right?
Yeah. Like, imagine your kid drew a drawing or somebody in your kid's class drew something and then he brought it home because he stole it from him, and then you got a tattoo from it of it, and then later down the line he tells you when he's like 10 years old, he's like, oh yeah, I stole that one from my mate. And you're like, oh, I thought it was so good. That would be so funny.
Yeah, dude. Yep.
I'm saying
Yep.
this because I seen a guy with clearly with his fucking kids drawings on his leg today, and I was like, oh, imagine that was someone else's drawing. Because I have this analogy I use all the time. Oh. Also, did you hear about this shit that Rodriguez said on the podcast, bro? He said it on every single podcast he was on, and he said the shit that you make, the best shit that you make, is not even yours. And the way he says it, he said, "You are the pipe of the universe." Did you ever like write and you wrote like really good for a while, for a second, and then you said, "Oh my God, how did I do that? How am I supposed to finish this now?" And what you do is the moment you set that self-doubt in, you clog the pipe and it's
Mm-hmm.
not flowing anymore, because the creative spirit, as he likes to call it, is like, "You think that's yours? Fuck you. I'm not giving you any more of that shit." That's literally what he says. He's like, he tells his kids, and he says this works on his kids a lot. He's like, you don't even have to, he's telling the kid to like do something creative on paper, to write some script for a movie or some shit. And then the kid is like, oh, I don't want to do it. He's like, but you don't have to do it. You just have to sit down and let the creative spirit use your hands. And they're like, really? And then they come up with like these amazing ideas, bro, because they just let somebody else use their hands. Like, we think that it's like us. The shit, like, this shit just comes from nowhere, like in your mind, you know? Yeah, and it's like the moment you stop thinking that it's yours, you take your ego out of it, and then better shit comes. This is an interesting way to look at it. It's like the most Rick Rubin way of looking at it ever.
Yes. Yeah, I'm a big fan. Yeah, that's true. When I'm writing, sometimes I'll just be in the zone. I'm like, how the fuck? And I go back, like 3 months later, I'll check it. I'll look at my old shit. I was like, damn, I don't remember writing that shit. Like, holy shit, that's pretty good. Yeah, you are the lightning rod. Once you get in that zone, you gotta figure out how to get in that zone. That's why I have like specific coffee shop. I get out. I had my favorite coffee shop, but it closed. I was like, fuck for a minute. I was like, fuck, dude. Starbucks is not giving me that fucking that juice. That
Creative
fuck.
spirit.
Yeah, you gotta find it, bro, because it is. You are channeling something. Like you could do all the planning and stuff like that, but someone it comes from somewhere. You're right. I like that. I like
Yeah.
that.
Funny thing is, like, people think that they know what they need to do in order to like make their fucking place creative and shit. Usually, like, your best ideas come in very random places. They don't come when you like set all the lights up and turn on the crazy music and finally like got your page out. That's not when it comes. It comes at the most random fucking places when you like zone the fuck out. Usually, moments of silence is when this shit comes out, because that's when your subconscious takes over, right? You
Yep.
play with the
Yep.
subconscious at all for ideas? I can give you a trick about that also.
Okay. Give me the trick.
So the method is called most important question, and basically what it is you draw yourself anything you want to come up with, and this shit works every time, bro. Every single, and it also helps you remember your dreams better. So listen up. This is what you do: is you write the question you want the answer to, that has to come from inside you, some creative shit, whatever, or guidance, you know? You write that shit on paper, or you don't even have to write it on paper. You just have to ask yourself as you're falling asleep. I just repeat it to myself all the time, and I make sure I get it pretty specific, you know? So like I used to ask myself that thing that Ruben always says, like, "Oh, what do I wish existed? What do I wish existed?" And then I said, like, "What do I wish existed that I can make?" You know? And what you do is you fall asleep to that, and that's the last thought you had. And then you, when you wake up, for some reason, you can remember your dream better. And then you also, like, the first thing that you think of when you wake up is the answer. It's fucked
I
up,
like
bro. It
that.
works every time. And
I
also, if you want
love
to
that.
remember your dream better, what you have to do in the morning is keep your body stiff. Ruben says that he figured it out, because what happens when you start moving is when you stop, when you like fucking reset your mind. For some reason, if you keep your body still when you wake up and close your eyes again, it comes back to you. So that's two things to keep in mind. The most important question, and keeping your eyes closed and your body still when you wake up. Because you really have to use your subconscious, because you don't do fuck all. Like, your conscious mind is so limited. Your subconscious is the supercomputer that gets everything done, you know? So
Yep.
if you want to
Yep.
be more creative, if you want to figure something out that nobody else has figured out, definitely you have to take it in. You have to soak yourself in the material that you want to do, and then ask a question based on that material. So you're watching like these podcasts, all the reading some shit, soak yourself in that shit, and then ask a question based on that, that you can innovate on top of it, and then go to sleep. And the first thing that comes to your mind in the morning will be the answer. Come back to me when you do that, bro, because I really want to hear what you come up with.
I like it. I like it. I like,
Yeah,
yeah, I like playing because, yeah, the subconscious is crazy, bro. If you program it correctly. Let me tell you some of what I did with my dreams, right? So I was every every night I had a dream. I wrote it down in the morning. I wrote everything I could remember, and I had a notebook right by my bed. If I woke up in the middle of the night from a dream, I would write it in the notebook, and I kept doing that every morning, no matter what my dream was. I would write. I was like, "Holy shit, my fucking schoolmate caught on fire." I was like, "Whoa, that's crazy." I
yeah,
wrote. I could smell the smoke, and my dreams started getting more lucid, right? This was during COVID too. I had fucking nothing to do, bro. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna write. I had my notebook right next to my pillow, and I was just and after like a week or so, bro, all my dreams, I knew when I was dreaming. I would go into dreamland, and I was the fucking king of. I could do anything I wanted. I was like, oh, I'm dreaming. Cool. All right, what am I gonna do this time? Fuck it, I'm gonna just get a Lamborghini and fucking I'm gonna go get the girl I like. Go
what do
drive
you
around.
do when you're the king of the fucking world?
Right, bro, it was fucking awesome. I wanna do it again. I don't know why I stopped doing it. I think
They
COVID
do say
ended.
when you keep a dream journal, that helps a lot. But
Oh,
one thing that I've done the same
mm,
thing, except what I did was when I wrote it down, I gave it to AI and told it to analyze it like fucking Carl Jung, and then it like gave me the analysis of the dream, bro, and of all the symbolism, and that you'll be like, whoa. You can even do that with your all dreams, because your subconscious, your dreams is it's all you. Like you are the guy that's chasing you, and you are the guy that's scared of it, and you are somebody else in the background thinking some shit you can hear. You are, the whole thing is you, and it shows you like different versions of you, you know? So like you can come up with some serious answers. Your dream gives it to you in like a very puzzled way in a way, you know? But Jung figured all this out, and you can really like AI will do it for you. You just have to like do what I said, and you will be fucking thanking me later. Comment whatever
damn,
the shit came up, but it's something that like really messes with you, bro. You're like, whoa.
damn, that's a level higher than what I was doing, bro. You're taking it and putting it into the ether.
That's
You're
my job,
taking it
bro.
from your
I have been
ether.
soaking myself
Like,
in the creative shit for a while now.
woo, I
This is what
like
I try
that,
to do. I try to open minds and the creative spirit to flow for everybody else. Yeah,
bro. Cause I believe in like the power of um making your own dreams come true. I believe in that. Like, fuck, I forgot what it's called.
yeah,
When you visualize something and it happens in real life. Yeah, I
yeah.
believe in that.
Manifesting.
Manifest. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know that shit's real. I've seen it happen, bro. I've
it
seen
works,
it.
bro. I've seen it
Yep.
happen in such weird ways. It's like it's the most unexpected when it actually happens to you the first time. When it's not just like some stupid synchronicity or whatever, but when it happens, like proper happens, you're like, You look around, you look at the sky, and go, "Thank you," and you wonder,
Mhm.
"What the fuck was that?" And then you're like, "What am I in? What is this life about exactly?" And like, is there a way to? Because I figured out that the game is basically this: you will have your own perspective unless you let somebody else convince you to have their perspective. You will have your own beliefs and your own limits and your own shit unless you let somebody else tell you something otherwise. And sometimes they're very convincing and they step inside there, inside your mind, and they set all those limits, those barriers, because society has to function. And the best way to make it function is to put in some walls in places that they normally don't exist. But that's what happens. And it's like, it's your job to get conscious and question the shit that you believe and like fucking figure out why you believe it and if it's in your best interest to believe in it in the first place. You know, that's kind of what you have to do. But nobody does it. You can hear it millions of times, and until you do it, like it's I haven't even done all this shit, you know. And it's probably for for my benefit also that I don't look into everything. But look, I'm already like setting my own limit there. I'm like, oh, probably it's probably good I didn't, you know. I'm like, why is that there? I didn't fucking plan on that shit. Like I want to know everything, and there's for some reason there is like a barrier already pushing me away. It's like, no, don't check everything. Look at that shit. I'm telling you, bro, you'd have no idea how many limits are imposed on your mind. You are not consciously aware of the prison you're in. Your body is made of cells, and those cells are like a
Mhm.
prison cell if you let them be. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Sorry, I
think they
went on a
call.
rant there. I fucking I
Nah,
get
bro,
passionate
that's
about this subject a lot.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, I think they call it like limiting beliefs, bro. Like get that shit out of your head. Um, I like there's no limit. Like there's if you think there's a limit, then there's a limit. Like there's plenty of money. Oh God, you know how much money is in this world? You could have
They
as
print some
much
shit
money
like
as you
that.
want. Yeah, they print a fucking warehouse full of money every day. Every fucking day. It's like a stadium full of money. And you're worried, oh, if I don't um do this, like money is too there's no way I can have money. That's bullshit, bro. You can have money. There's money out there. You open up your window and look out at the city. Look at all those fucking buildings. Look, that's why I like going up to get high views. Like you could I love that shit just
You
sitting
get a
there and
broader
like,
perspective when you're higher up, you know?
yeah, bro, I love that
For
shit
sure.
just
Your gaze
looking.
opens up and actually lowers anxiety also. When you can see the
Mm,
horizon, Huberman says
mm.
it naturally makes you think more broad when you look in more broad. And because anxiety is usually like that tunnel vision, right? It's like you can only see like this problem that's in front of you or this stressor. You can't see anything outside of it. And that's why you're so fucking hung up and all inside the problem, you know? You have to separate yourself from that shit. And the best way they figured it out actually was that I think they figured it out in the UK. The girl, like, she was gone on a walk, or the psychologist was gone on a walk, and she was like, every time I go on a walk, my eyes like naturally go side to side. They're like checking the environment, and then they're like, when I get like really chill when I do that, you know. She was basically calming herself down when she was like checking the environment, because I think that's because you're looking around for predators and you see that it's clear, so you chill the fuck out. And she was like, how can I bring that into the therapy studio? And so she figured out that thing that she dangles in front of your eyes, and then she gives you the side to side motion with the eyes, like the hypnotist kind of does, and that relaxes you. Side to side motion with the eyes relaxes your brain. It gives you a broader perspective. It's
Sick.
insane, right?
Nice. Nice. No wonder I like watching tennis so much.
That makes sense. Yeah.
You can watch that shit
Oh,
all
and I
day.
would have never fucking made that connection. Thank you for that.
Right? It is weird how your eyes just follow shit when it's moving like a bird. Yeah. Yeah. It's yeah, there's so many tricks, bro. You gotta learn them. And that's another reason I moved to Asia, because they have like a whole nother um Pandora's box to open up a whole nother method of living life. All these like old ancient like Thailand monks and like old Chinese remedy, like old kind of there's a whole I love learning that shit, bro. I
It's a
love
whole other world out there, you know?
bro, like the rules of eight. Like I had a friend that would we would have really good conversations, and it's like, okay, how many years have you been here? 8 years. Okay, that means you're open up the eighth door of this. I was like, oh fuck, bro, yeah, this is great. Like I love learning that shit, bro. I could learn that stuff all day. Because life is not just, they want you to think, okay, you go to work for 60, 40 years, and then you retire, and maybe you have 2.5 kids, and No, dude, it's
And
whatever
then they
you
steal
want.
your retirement fund
Right,
from the
right.
corporation.
Fuck that shit. That's why I'm out of there, bro. I'm like, fuck that. I'm gonna come here. Yeah, okay. I still have a job, but I'm teaching English. It's fun. Like, okay. But just to escape, yeah, like the Matrix. The Matrix. You gotta get out of that. You
Yeah,
gotta
that slave mind, it is a slave mind. And you mentioned the job. I actually wanted to go into that because when you have to be creative, all that shit about money we just said, it's like you do need to, if you want to be even able to create some shit, you have to figure out that first chakra, that the survival chakra is money and like the roof over your head and food. You need to be like that because if you're stressed out, it's hard to do shit, usually. Although there isn't the opposite answer that is also true because like Dostoevsky used to was it Dostoevsky? I think it was Dostoevsky that used to like, he wrote some good shit when he came out of prison and then he was successful and he had all the money, and when he had all the money and all the shit, he wasn't able to write anything good. So what he would do, he would go to a fucking casino and gamble it all away to put himself on what Robert Greene calls like dead ground. Like when your army's back is against the cliff, you fight really fucking hard to get back, because otherwise you're dead anyway, so you might as well give your best. And so he would put himself on dead ground and he would fucking come up with some other shit. So sometimes like desperation is the key to creativity because necessity is the mother of all invention, they say. But the opposite is true also. It's like if you have a nice, comfortable way of living and you have time for yourself to think about stuff, you will also come up with shit. So like either side kind of works. So you need to figure out like a shitty job that at least allows you to have maybe the physical or mental capacity later to like work on your dreams essentially, on the side. So you
yeah.
need to find a job that you can slave away at for a bit of money that will give you that creative space in the meantime.
Yeah, yeah. I I used to do security and I used to love it, bro, because I'll just sit at the desk and read. I read fucking so many books. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, you can find a job, but like art actors, they find job doing waiting tables or something. You gotta have a roof over your head, but don't work. There's no way you're gonna work a 9 to 5 and become a millionaire. It's impossible, bro. If you do the math, you're
Self-limiting belief, Damon. Don't do that. No, but not all jobs are created equal, Like
you
I work
got
on a
me.
fucking construction site for 8 hours a
Right,
day, but at
right.
least nobody talks shit to me when I'm working. Usually, maybe for five
Yeah,
minutes they tell me what to do, and then that's it. So I can have my headphones on for eight
right,
hours,
right.
audiobooks, podcasts,
That's
my own
that's right.
podcast to listen back to. So like, and then
Yep,
as a waiter, maybe you can have a headset on your head, because you need to like
yep.
listen to the shit that's going on around you because people are calling you. So like, it seems like the job isn't as hard, but then you don't have to create the actual mental space to think as you're doing it, because you have to be focused on other shit. So like, even though I'm
Yep.
working hard doing construction and digging sometimes or putting up plaster walls, it's like I have the time to listen to on the side. So you have to find a job that you can kind of have that element to it. I feel like, that's what I figured out.
Yep, that's why I like the security job because I could read, I could write. I would be making money, and I'll just be sitting at my desk writing. Okay, I'm writing my movie here. 8 hours later, I close my laptop, go home, and I have fucking 50 pages written. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a good job. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. If
What were
you
some
if
shit
you
jobs that you were doing before that was like that were blocking your creativity? Would you say
oh okay, let's see, shit job I was doing.
taxi driver?
Well, yeah, but that was fun. I loved. That was my best job I ever had.
Why was
Taxi
it so
driver.
good?
Cause bro, you're living life, bro. You're in there, bro. You're in the streets. You're meeting people. You could be killed at any time. It's like a thrill, bro. You get high, bro. You get that taxi high. You get that fucking. You're
Taxi.
like, bro, it's like a taxi driver high. Cause look, you're driving through the street. You gotta bring somebody safely somewhere. But this person could be a serial killer. I've had some pretty shady people in my taxi. I got mad stories. I'm actually writing a book about that. I've been writing a book for 10 years about that. But that was the funnest job I ever had, bro. Cause you get You get a handful of money at the end of the night. Like it's all up to you. Yeah, that is like manifesting instantly. Cause like, am I gonna turn left here or I'm gonna turn right? If I turn left, please let it be a $500 fare to the airport. And you turn left and there's someone with their suitcase. You're like, yeah. Or if you know, if you're in a bad mood, you get all the crackheads and they're running out and not paying. Like you, bro, I was so me and my friend, we were like so. Uh, there's just like a mind state, bro. You're in, bro, when you're in the zone and you're just going like everything is like is like a baseball player. You know, a baseball player doesn't wash his socks if he's on a hitting streak. Same thing with a cab driver. Like we won't. No matter how bad I got to take a piss, bro, I'm not getting out of this cab because I just keep hitting. You know, I'm gonna just drive. They're like, all right, you got to come back in. I'm like, nope, I'm on fire right now. I'm making $1,000 today, and you're just like, yeah, that you're totally free. I could stop and watch a movie. We used to stop the cab. We used to go to the airport, get $50, right? And then go to the casino with that $50, bro. So there would be 12 cabs in front of the casino. And it would be all my friends were at the blackjack table playing blackjack. We're like, drive a cab. And then it would be like, oh shit, I got an hour to turn in my cab. Oh fuck, I need to make $50. And it was like, it was the most exciting job I've ever had, bro. So many crazy things happen. Oh, I love driving cab. Late night.
So that's like your plan C, is it? Right after getting like a what do you call it? A sugar mama, you're thinking of going back to taxi for the old
Uh, I
age.
could, I could always go back to taxi, bro. It's waiting for me. Yeah, like,
Interesting. I never thought about driving actually. My brother's
oh
a
man.
driver, and he watches Netflix also. He
Yeah,
like
okay.
delivers money to places, and he'd be watching Netflix and just like calling me, with these driver glasses, just like, and you can hear the
Yeah,
engine just.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, no, no, I love that. That was a life because you're free. You're free. So it's like it is a job, but then like if I wanted to go watch a movie, like I could just park my cab, go watch a movie. If wherever I wanted to eat, bro, we're eating real good because you make a quick $50 and you're like, shit, I'm about to go eat a fucking steak and lobster right now. You know, I'll make it back. So it was like kind of like gambling in the form of fucking picking up fares, right? So you never,
Yeah, it's interesting because you have no control. It's all random.
yeah. So you got to be in that mind state. You got to be like you're sitting in front of the hotel, and the bellboy brings out someone with two suitcases. You're like, oh yeah, there's about to be $50 right here. And they're like, oh, we're going to the hotel across the street. We just don't want to. You're like, oh shit. So it is kind of like gambling. Do I wait here for 5 minutes or do I drive around the corner? It's very spiritual. It's very cab driving was a very
I've
spiritual
never heard anybody say it.
experience,
I
bro.
think you're the first person to ever put those words together.
Bro, you gotta pray. You gotta pray to the money gods, bro. Like, please, I need $300 tonight. Swear to God, I'll wash my car. I'll fucking do everything. And yeah, I loved it because it was
When it
magic. It
comes through,
wasn't,
you must be so psyched.
bro. It did, bro. It did. Yeah, cause I, you know, working for you know exactly how much you're getting per hour. Yeah, that's cool. But this one was like, I can make $0 to this. I don't know what I'm gonna make. Who knows, right? And then you're just like, at the end of the night, you're like, holy shit, ooh, 300. Where we going? Where we going to eat? You know, so it was fun. It was exciting. Yeah.
Tyler had a question for you at the last podcast
Mm.
because we kind of leave a question for the guest. So I'm gonna get you to leave one for someone else. I'm not sure who that's gonna be, but he wanted to ask you, or he just wanted to ask a different guy actually. Why do you do what you do?
As in what acting at the moment? What do I do? Why do I
It's a
do
very
what I
broad one.
do? Oh shit.
I will let your own interpretation of that flow through, whatever you want.
Because I want to live a good life. I want to live an exciting life. Yeah. I do everything I do so I could be better, have an exciting life. Like like I do everything. I go to the gym so I can have a better life. I do everything to have a better life, exciting life. something something like that. That would be probably my answer. I do everything because I'm hungry. I want to eat. I want better. I'm always like trying to get better. I'm always so I do things because they make me better. Like they do. I don't know. That's a tough question. Tyler,
It's as
I
tough.
don't
It's
know.
as tough as you make it.
That is like him.
It's
That's
like if
just
somebody
like
asks me,
him.
"Why do you want to get better at something?" It's like if I
That
asked
is just
you,
like
"Why do
him
you
to
want?
ask
Why
that
is it that you
question.
want to get better at stuff?" We can keep digging with the why, like Socrates is like why, and then you'll get to the core of
I
that value system that's driving you. What do you think is driving you?
I just like living, bro. I
Be
like
as
live.
honest as you want to be.
That I could totally hear Tyler's voice when you said that. Yeah, that's something he would say. No, I just like living, bro. I want to do. I want to do what I like. I want to do what
Makes you
I
feel
like.
alive, right? When you do the shit you like.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've had jobs where you're just like, fuck this. What the fuck? I fucking wake up in the morning, go to this fucking place. Yeah, but yeah, I do what I do because I enjoy life. I enjoy living this crazy, this fucking weird, this life. We're on
This
planet
simulation
Earth,
game that we're playing, yeah.
through space at 1,000,000 miles an hour around the sun with moons and somehow we don't fly off this fucking globe. Yeah, that's why I'm living
What's your theory on this shit? We are like alone in a
ah
very big dark space, and people tend to forget that we're just like this tiny little speck in space floating, and we are like these little bits of fucking atoms that like one day fucking created these like prokaryote cells that divided and then they kept dividing and they formed organs with different functions and then all these organs like got together with this fucking another organ called skin and they fucking wrapped it up into a human with a skeleton that could keep himself up on the structure and then one day it starts thinking for itself because it realizes that in order to figure out its environment better, you have to become self-aware. And to become self-aware, you become self-aware because you want to be able to tell what other people and other animals in your environment are going to do. So you're like, if I was a tiger, that's the predator mindset, by the way. It's like the reason a cat is like really good at hunting shit is because it's able to think like it's prey. A good predator is able to think like it's prey. Like a good human in a group is able to, like, if me and you are in a group, and somebody else is doing some shit on the side, if me and you want to figure out what the fuck he's gonna do next, you have to think, what would I do if I was that motherfucker? He's gonna do something next. He's going around that side there, like, and then that's how you become self-aware, I think, because it allows you to get somebody else's perspective, and it gives you that illusion of being able to make better decisions in your environment. That's kind of what I keep preaching to people.
yeah, that I pretty much believe that almost everything is a lie. Everything is a lie. Everything they've told you is a fucking lie. This is not what we are here for, to like just do the normal shit. No, humans are way more fucking powerful than to take fucking stupid pills for eczema or whatever the fuck. We are more powerful than that. We the fucking most. This it's crazy how they keep us down like that, bro. Like they
Well,
keep
think
us
about this
down.
whole depression shit. You go to a doctor and you say you're feeling bad,
Mm.
so he says you're depressed, and all depression is a signal from your body to change something in your environment because it's making you sad. But instead of changing some shit in your life, what you decide to change is you decide to take a pill that will numb that feeling of fucking wanting to change, and then you will be stuck in a perpetual cycle of living a shit life for the rest of your life because you've never like done something about trying not to get depressed. You just numbed it and kept doing the shit that kept making you depressed. How
Oh no.
retarded is that? Of course, there could be some people like I think they already debunked that shit with the chemical imbalance. I think that's debunked, right? That's a lie.
Change your life. Like if you got a chemical imbalance, like fucking go to the beach and meditate. Like this pill that they give to every single person, that's not gonna help you, yo.
Yeah, but people want a quick
That's the
fix, Damien. People want a
it's
quick
over
fix. They don't have
here.
a.
It's inside you, bro. It's not right now. You trying to fix the fucking your car is falling apart, and you trying to shine the bumper, bro. Like you got to fix the engine, man. Your engine is fucking not working. Change the engine, and then you're gonna be fine. Stop worrying about the fucking windshield. Like you gotta Yeah, you got to change everything. Yeah, those pills. That shit's not gonna help you, man. That shit's not gonna help you. What you need to do is find it, bro. Go for a walk. I'm not. I don't give medical advice. I'm not a doctor,
I am.
but
I give you permission. I gave myself
but
a doctorate. No, I wouldn't give medical advice either. Here's the thing: if you were borderline suicidal, off you go to a doctor and get your pills to fucking, keep you in that great state to at least until you figure some better shit out and get some support. Obviously, you're in a bad spot there, but there's other shit. It's like the reason why it's good to go for a walk is because a walk gives your eye the optical illusion of moving forward in life. If you just sit in your room and ruminate, literally, you are not going anywhere, and you have the feeling of not going anywhere because you're sitting one place. Going on a walk outside in nature gives your brain the idea that you are moving forward, that you are moving on. The process keeps going. You're not sitting in one place. So just go for a walk. The best ideas come
go
to
for
you
a
on a
walk.
walk.
Go for a swim. Go for a walk.
Or
Go
drop
for a
5 grams
run.
of magic mushrooms, and 300
Mm,
fucking micrograms of acid in the
mm.
safe clinical environment, or with your good trip sitter friend, and you will figure some shit out about yourself that will definitely help you. Hopefully, no, it helped me for sure.
Yeah. I believe. Yep. Anything is better than those whatever fucking drugs they give those people, man.
Those
Anything is better than that.
SSRIs, whatever you call them. Have you ever
Yeah.
dabbled in any psychedelics, Damon? Any mind-opening chemicals? You
Yeah.
wanna share a story about that?
Um. The first time I did shrooms, that shit changed my life.
Here we go.
Shit.
Tell me more.
Yeah, that's when I started to realize everything's a fucking lie. This is all bullshit. Like what are we do? What is this? Like they don't need me at this job. I'm fucking. They're stealing my life. Like this is like let me like. There's so much more to life than than
Oh yeah.
than we ever imagined. Like you could go
This is the most
anywhere
cliche shit
anytime.
ever, but if you don't come up with your own ideas, your own dreams, your own perspectives, somebody else will come up with them for
Mm-hmm.
you.
Mm-hmm.
If you
Mm-hmm.
do not come up with your own ideas, perspectives, or dreams, somebody else will fill that space in because that's a void in your mind right now that doesn't exist. It didn't come in there. And then somebody fills that shit in for you, and you think you have to do that shit. You think your parents told you to go a specific direction because that's where the world is going, and so you want to be a good fucking son or daughter, and you go and follow that shit, and then you resent them for it. My brother did the same thing. Trust me, it's the most painful shit ever. And if you don't have the self fucking awareness, the first thing you have to do is become self aware. And mushrooms is like a very quick fix because you automatically you start thinking about yourself really, really fast and everything
That's
else about you. It's you can they say you can become enlightened by just meditating and shit. You can obviously you can become more self aware of the shit that's going on in your mind. But the quickest, it's like that story with the Buddha, right? It's like some guy comes to the fucking meditates for 20 years and he comes to Buddha and he's like, oh, I've learned to like walk on water, I've meditated for 20 years. And he's like, you've wasted 20 years when the ferry is only a nickel, you dumbass. The fuck are you doing?
yeah.
You could have just taken a fucking gram of mushrooms, not even fucking anything crazy, and you would have
Yeah.
got the fucking idea right now. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Go to a place where it's legal, or just do what everybody else does and pretend to say you have to do that on a podcast. Keep yourself safe.
It's true. You gotta program yourself. You gotta program because all this programming, you're on the fucking phone. It's like
Yeah. Or at least find people that you want to be programmed by and listen to them and spend time with them. You don't
yeah,
have to have physical friends in this fucking day and age. You can listen to people who you want to be like. You can create a book of people that you admire and you say, I
yeah.
like Robert Greene for the way he writes his books. I like Damien for the way he fucking thinks about life. I like Artur because he gets all philosophical about this and I want to admire that and get some of that inside of me. Or whoever you can get a book of people that you want to be like and you don't want to be exactly like the whole person because you can't be that, but there is something that they do that you admire, that resonates with you, and you wanna put that in your life. And you can just all you
Mm.
have to do is just spend time with these people on a podcast, and you will soak that in. You cannot avoid soaking in from other people,
Bro, you can't.
which
That's why I
is why it's
avoid.
so important to get a job where you can just listen to these people all day long,
Yeah,
and then you all of
yeah.
a sudden you have this success mindset, and everybody else is still a fucking loser, you know.
Bro, I avoid those people like the plague, bro. You gotta avoid those people. Yeah, you find someone that's successful and you try to hang around them, whatever, however you can. Yeah, That's why I like. I had a job where I was working at like $1 million condo, right? I was a concierge, and I was just around rich people all day, and I was just like, oh my god, this is fucking like, what do you do? Oh my god, like damn, and I was just you know you get in that vibe, like oh shit, you're a restaurant owner. Oh my god, okay, like you're just like you walk into their house and it's like marble floors and fucking and just Pellegrinos in the fridge, and you're like, holy shit! Like, yes, okay. And you didn't even. I like watching real estate shows on YouTube, bro, with like the fucking ballerest houses. I'm like, oh my god, like okay, that's fucking how I want to live. Yeah. You got to program yourself, bro. You gotta you can't let them fuck. You can't let all this shit get in your head. All the politics, all the fucking fights on YouTube or fucking Facebook, all that shit. You gotta program yourself. You gotta write it down and say, okay, I want this. You gotta tell the universe what you want, bro. You gotta tell. How's the universe gonna know what you want? How's it gonna give it to you?
You don't
Have you
know.
ever have you ever listened to Reverend Ike?
No.
Oh shit, he's old school. He's old school. He's like I think from the damn near 80s, bro, and he's talking about manifesting. He's like a preacher. So he has like he's preaching to like a damn near fucking stadium full of people, and he's like uh look it up later, Reverend Ike, bro. I think you'll like
I'll
him.
check it out.
He is a fucking manifesting. He's a dynamo, bro. He is like he's just preaching. And the shit that we're talking about like right now that people are like manifesting, he was talking about it in the 80s. He's like, yeah, I just fucking made this Rolls Royce by myself. Like I just fucking asked for it. I asked God, the God in me, for this Rolls Royce, and all of a sudden I got fucking 10 Rolls Royces. Oh God, he's so good, bro. Reverend
Talking about
Ike,
God,
check
it's
him
like
out.
when you're praying, who the fuck you think is listening? You.
Yeah, he's like the God is in you. That's you. You
Because he's
are.
in everything, and you are the
Yep.
expression
Yep.
of God Himself, and so is
Yep.
everybody else. But you have to like when you realize you are that and all that, it's like all this shit. Like you are not separate from your senses, So all that shit is a part of you in a way, your senses just like picks it up. It's a cool meditation to do, so it's like when you're sitting down, you're becoming so aware and you're like, are you separate from your senses? No. So that means the wind's a part of you. That means that little piece of breath you can fucking feel on your nose is you. It's like everything is you kind of, I'm getting really esoteric here, losing people, but that's the kind of shit I'd be thinking about. But talking about manifesting, a really cool
Yeah.
framework that I found recently was specifically for like content and branding. It was like, what do you want to be known for? So if you want to be, you have to figure out what you want to be known for, and then next step, this is like starting from the end, right? So that's like step number 4 is what you want to be known for, and then when you know that, you can say, what do I have to do to be known for that, right? And then before that, you go, okay, so I have to do this to be known for that. So and then you think a step back again, and you go, what do I need to learn to be able to do this shit that I need to do to be known for that? It's a really cool framework, bro, and I think that helped me a lot actually in figuring this shit out. You know,
Yeah. You got to do the work. Yeah. I mean, like you can manifest shit all day. You could say it. Oh, I want to do it, but you got to do the work. You got to, you know, you got to walk that path. If you want the end result, you gotta do the steps.
you have to
But
figure out the path is the way to go. You have to be like Sisyphus, just thinking about rolling that stone. That has to give you pleasure. It doesn't, because the pleasure never comes at the end, because there's another mountain to climb. You have to find the joy in the process. And there is like your purpose in life is not a single thing that you do. It's the feeling you get when you do what you're supposed to do. You know.
right, yeah, yeah,
It's a little
yeah.
feeling. It's like sometimes you do a little note on the podcast. You're like, oh yeah, I'm doing some shit, or I'm making some music, or I'm writing, or I'm meeting people, talking to people, getting ideas. I'm going on a job there, and it makes you feel good. You're like, I done something today that moves me somewhere on that scale. I didn't fucking stay home and stay stagnant. It's like
Right.
figure out the process was always the way to go.
And you
In a
don't
world
notice,
that keeps changing, the only way to do better shit is to keep doing shit.
and you
Otherwise, you're
don't
behind.
know, and you don't notice it day by day. You don't
No.
notice it, and then 2 years later, you take a step back. You're like, holy shit! Like 2 years ago, I wanted to be here, and I'm here. Oh fuck,
Yeah.
God, I
And
did
then you
it!
have to do
Like,
it again and again and again.
yeah, you got to keep doing that, bro. Cause
Sometimes
like
you don't know
me,
how much you know until you talk to like a teenager and they're like, "What the fuck?" You know?
right, right,
Or
like
just most people actually.
that's another reason I like teaching because I learn from these kids all the time, bro. But I my students like they remind me because I like take a step back. They're like, "Damn, teacher, look at you, you're doing hella good." I was like, "Damn, okay." Yeah, 2 years ago I wanted to do this. Now I'm on the movie screen and I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like that's what I was talking about that I wanted to do. I want to see myself on the movie screen, and I saw myself on Netflix, and I saw myself on a movie screen, and now it's like, oh, what do I ask for next? Because I'm ready. I think you can manifest it. You can make you it works. You can make yourself do that. Now that I noticed that you got to be very specific when you ask the universe for something. Like okay, don't be fucking ridiculous with it.
Yeah,
Like
like if you tell a genie you want a big cock and he gives you a big chicken, it's like that's not what I asked
yeah,
for, genie.
yeah.
You know exactly what I was asking for. You can't just. You have to be very, very specific with that shit.
Be very specific of what you want and don't be silly. Like okay, yeah, yeah. Everybody wants a Ferrari, but do you have a house? How do you have like security? Do you have food? Like let's get the real shit first. Let you gotta. It's one step at a time, right?
Yeah, don't
You-
risk it all. Don't risk it all, so that you can set yourself back.
But ask for it, and ask, and you shall receive.
You
It's
shall
in the
receive.
fucking. It's in the Bible. Like
It is in
even
the
the
Bible.
Bible says, like you gotta ask. You gotta pray for it. Sometimes people call it praying. Some people call it putting it out into the universe. But the only way you gotta ask for it. Otherwise, you're just floating around at sea, bro, in a ship with no fucking GPS. You gotta plot your course. You're drifting. You gotta plot your course. I gotta plot a new course now. Yeah, if you have a map, that helps. If you have your course plotted, that helps. If you want to go to Hawaii, you don't just fucking take off and just hope you make it there. No, you set your goal, but then you gotta know, like, okay, this is what I gotta do to get there. Okay, I gotta fucking study. I gotta work. I gotta fucking do 300 podcasts this year, and then I'll be better. I gotta fucking meet up with these people. I gotta Bro, when I was doing my podcast, I was just texting people on Instagram. I was like, would you like to be on my podcast? And then like some people were like, yes, like you could pull in you could fucking who would you like to have on the podcast? Who be like
I'm already in the process. I have a few people that I texted. There's like this guy that does like these trippy animations. I mentioned him on
mm,
the last few pods. Tripper Teddy, his name is. I think he's on like 70,000 followers. He had like this really successful YouTube channel with like 1 million subscribers. He was making money, and then he was like, "Fuck that! That's not what I want to do." And he just started doing like his own show. It's called Tripper Teddy, and he talks about like God,
mm,
infinity, and manifestation, and all this shit. Like just like really, really cool shit. I think he's gonna be like a. I told him when I first noticed it before I even had the podcast, I was like, bro, this shit is amazing. It's gonna be like a new show on Netflix. And long and behold, he's gonna be coming on fairly soon because he talks a lot about that. Yeah. Yeah, no, and then I have another guy that's a script writer that has like 25K that I met. I was in a sleeper bus in Vietnam, and I randomly followed a few. I wanted to learn screenwriting, so I followed a few random accounts, and he texts me, and I was after dropping acid on a sleeper bus. I was texting him after acid on a sleeper bus driving through Vietnam, and then he's like, "Oh, we're gonna be friends," and he actually asked me to do a podcast like back then. This is like a few months ago, but he's also gonna be on. I think maybe even tomorrow actually. I've been trying to get him on, but he's a little busy. Yeah, so shit's coming up, and then
Shit.
I need to text more people because I'm gonna run out. I also have like this Italian psychologist that wants to be on, that does like this generative art. So I try to keep it around artists, you know, creative people, really, because that's what I want to talk about. You know, I like people who are on this vibe, and maybe I can learn something from them. Maybe they can learn something from me. You know, everybody's kind of figuring out their own shit, but it's all interconnected. So like you don't even know where you can get inspiration from. So just for that, it's worth it kind of to do that shit because it gives me value, it gives him value, and it gives anybody that's watching or maybe will watch in the future value, you know? So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, bro, that's what it's all about. Giving value. If you read I read these books. My memory's so fucked. Jesus Christ. What is the name of this book?
What you got?
Oh, Think and Grow Rich. Yeah, that one. Have you
You
know
like that
you
one?
everybody knows about that one.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
can't
it's
remember that
cool.
one.
A lot of people swear by it. A lot of people swear by it. Um, but like, yeah, you have to give value, right? You have to find out what value you know. It's okay that you could think about everything you want, but what will you give? That I think that's one of the things in that book where it says like, what are you willing to give for this prize, right? Like, okay, I want to be a famous actor. Like, what am I willing to
You have to
give?
give some
Okay, I'm
shit up.
willing to give. Yeah, yeah. You have to give value, just like like shit, bro. You always have to give value. Man. You can't just nothing just pops into your lap like as you're doing nothing. You have to be doing shit.
But so
Uh, the things you want the most, you're gonna start off doing it for free. Like, I would do so many things for free. If they pay me for it, I was like, holy shit, I'll do this for free right now. I learned that a long time ago. Like, if you're not willing to do it for free, then why are you even doing it? You know, like when if you're creating something for money, like no, like no,
yeah, I believe
you
Aristotle already said that. He figured it out like fucking 2,000 years ago. He said you have to want to do something for its own sake. That's purpose. When you would do it anyway, when you're just doing it because you like to do and it's usually the shit that you don't notice you're doing for its own sake, you know. And that's why it escapes you. Your purpose escapes you so much because there's things that you like to do. Like there's that shit on the weekend when you finally have time to do some shit that you do. That's not scrolling and all this other shit. Like that's what you were supposed to do. You know, that's what you're supposed to be working on. And then there's other things that you build on top of that with like your ambitions and stuff. But there's already things that you enjoy to do, and you just have to pay attention. Or sometimes you have to ask somebody else that can see you, that knows you better than you know yourself. You know, to be like, what do I like to do? Or you have to go back to your childhood and figure out what did I like to do before people told me what I like to do. That's another one.
right? Because when we were a
Mm.
kid, we didn't do that shit to get paid. Like when I was, the
Just some
great
shit that you were
Aristotle, the
doing
great
that you were
Aristotle.
interested in that has a direct link to what you like to do now. I like to
Right?
like explore nature and shit and fucking then when I was 8 years old already running with the camera and trying to put shit together, put literally physically two things together like an MP4 player and a
Mhm.
camera to make the videos like I
Right,
was saying. So like I was already
right,
trying to put I didn't know what I was doing, but I was doing it. You know?
right.
And that's you're in that first stage when you don't know what you're doing and then you realize there's all this shit that you don't know and then you know shit but you have to like consciously think about it to remember it and then you get into that stage where the last stage of creativity where you don't even think about what you're doing, it just flows out of you because that's your essence is that thing that you do, you know. that's the that's where you want to go.
It's
You want
that
to suck
kid.
yourself in that until there's you know everything, you know. You've made
It's
all the
that kid
mistakes and now you're
joy.
the expert. Now every time a newbie asks you a question you're like, ah, that thing, because you fucked it up a million times before. So you already have the instinctive answer to how to fix it when somebody else does it, you know.
Bro, it's that kid like joy, bro. If you could bring that kid like joy into what you do, then fuck, dude. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't get paid back then, bro. We weren't even thinking about getting paid when
The
we were a
concept of
kid. We
getting
just
paid was not even something that you were consciously aware of, you know.
no, and it was so
No.
fun, bro. And it was
And then
like,
you
yeah,
realize how important it is, or how important it seems to be when you want to live in a society that you have to contribute to, obviously. But yeah, figuring out that getting back that childhood fucking spirit is genius. That's what genius, because you were naturally curious about everything. Like kids instinctively know this. That's why they don't pay attention in class, because they're like, this is bullshit. What the fuck is this? Looking outside the window and thinking of what they're gonna do after this. They instinctively know they're getting programs, and they're naturally curious. So like the only way you understand something is by contrast, but like you also understand. You keep That's why you keep asking why. You know, that's what kids do. They ask you why 50 times a day about one thing. It's like, why is a banana yellow? It's like, I don't fucking know. It's like, let's
Well,
check it out. And you get curious. That's why it's so beautiful to have kids, because they remind you of a lot of this shit that you lost.
for
And you get to
people
read it.
listen, he actually had a banana in his hand when he said that. That's crazy. If you don't get the video, he's got a bunch of bananas. That's crazy. He's very
Bro,
prepared.
I
This guy.
even got some fucking salami in this bag. I was hungry before this podcast. I was down in chocolate milk because I wanted to be on. I was running here. I came from work at 1:30 and I had this scheduled for 2 o'clock, and I sat there right now. It's Saturday. It's beautiful outside, and I'm in Norway, and I was just like, no, this is what I need to do. I set this up. I wanted to do this. I haven't spoken to you that much when I was in Vietnam, but I was like, we're gonna have an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
Before I forget, can I get you to leave a question for the next guest?
Okay. My question. What is my question going to be? My question will be, um, who are you?
Ooh.
Has anyone done that one yet?
That's a pretty no. That's the first one. Yeah. Who are you? That's like an introduction question, but it's like, who are you really under all that
Who,
shit that you pretend to be?
who are you really? Because I know the internet's fucking up, man.
Damn it! I'm gonna hang up this conversation. Thank you for listening, and I will see you guys in the next one. And thank you, Damon, for doing this.